Howdy folks, and welcome to this week's review of Lucha Underground, a hell of a show tonight. Let's take a look at it. We start off with Alberto El Patron in Dario Quintos' office. Quintos offering a whole bunch of matches against various guys, Famous B and a few other guys, and you can see Alberto's having none of it. He doesn't want any of them, he wants Tejano Jr. But Dario wants to promote the match. Like, hey, give me some time, let's get some eyes on this. Nope, sorry, Alberto is super persuasive and basically nearly trashes the office, basically saying, nope, this is the match that I want. In the end, Dario lets him have it. We'll see where that goes, because Quintos not the kind of guy who takes well to being told what we're going to do. So we'll see what happens there. After that, we get our first match, which is Muertes versus Fenix. This one have been building for a while. We know we've seen Katrina basically going over and working her magic on Fenix backstage, and a few weeks ago. But this week we basically get both of them without Katrina. So we've got a great speed versus power match going on here. You know, Fenix can fly, and Muertes as well. Hell, he's a powerhouse. About halfway through the match, Katrina shows up. Whose side is she on? What's going on? We don't know. She caused a little bit of a distraction, but at the end, Muertes basically goozles, as we're so fond to call it, Fenix at this point, and then hits him with the flatliner and gets the pinfall. He basically demands that Katrina, come here, get in the ring, come on, do your thing, look at death. And she just refuses, downright refuses. She's sitting on the apron with the rock in her hand, that piece of rubble from the earthquake that Muertes survived. Muertes grabs her by the throat, basically drags her into the ring, to which point basically demanding, hey, you know what, this is what you need to do. At that point, Fenix recovers. I believe he hits a flying drop kick, knocks Muertes down into the corner. Looks down, sees the rock, grabs the rock, basically clocks him in the head with it. Kind of a strange thing for a face character to do, but I don't know. We'll see where Fenix goes with this. But post all of that, then you see Katrina walk over with the rock in hand, look down at Muertes, drops the rock, and gives him like the crazy lick of death. And then she turns to walk off, and like Fenix looks a little perplexed about what's going on here. Then she grabs him, plants a huge kiss on him, and he's like, okay, well, I guess this is the team I'm on. I do like that Katrina's the one basically driving this at this point. It's not like, hey, Fenix has stolen her away from Muertes. No, Katrina switched teams, and I don't think Fenix is even in the driver's seat at this point, which is pretty cool to see. After that, we get this crazy promo for Conan. It looks like something out of Sin City with, like, I don't know, the high contrast and the rain and the black and the white. Crazy sort of evil, Evil Ways is the name of the song that's playing in the background. It was also AJ Styles' music in TNA when he was facing Aces and Eights. So, but it's got that great vibe to it. You see, like, the attack of Cage on Conan, laying him out. And it's a bunch of like the slow shots of like Conan in the rain, walking into the building. Sort of pan up, you can see his angry face, like revenge is coming. I love this. It defines the flavor of what Lucha Underground's trying to do here, and it looks really cool and it reads really well on their stuff. After that, we've got Ivelisse, Son of Havoc, and Angelico, all in Dario Quintos' office. Ivelisse is trying to say that she should be the new #1 contender because she won her match last week. Dario's not quite buying that, no offense to Angelico, but beating him and having someone help her do it, not quite going to earn you the #1 spot. But he basically gives her a rematch versus Angelico with the condition that Son of Havoc is the guest referee. And makes a few comments up, but we'll see if she can control you in the ring as well as she does outside the ring. To which she grabs him by the beard and drags him off. And Angelico in the background the entire time, like, yeah, I'm here, yep. It's like, okay, whatever. And he goes to leave, And you see, like, Dario's like, close the door on your way out. He goes back, sort of closes the door. But he's got this whole sort of chip on his shoulder the entire time, which is really cool to see. After that, we see Puma backstage working the body bag, seeing what's going on, basically getting himself pumped up. And Alberto walks by. And basically lets him know that, like, hey, I'm coming after your title, if you still have it. Kind of weird to have that back-to-back with, like, Ivelisse has to earn her title, but Alberto's just going to basically be like, hey, I'm coming for yours. Sure, it's not official, and it's not sanctioned or anything, but those two playing back-to-back was a bit weird. After that, we have Sexy Star versus Big Ryck. The winner gets to face the crew 3-on-1. I'm still really amused that it's the two of them fighting for the right to fight 3 people at the same time. I like it. I liked the setup for this. It's like Sexy Star not willing to back down, and Big Ryck basically trying his hardest not to basically, like, break her. Like, she starts off with a whole bunch of forearms to the chest that don't move him, like the running forearms. She hits a crossbody off the top. Basically, there's a few things that sort of stagger him, but, like, she's not really getting anywhere. Ryck's just sort of resisting the urge to, like, he, like, shoves her off, but, like, you see him sort of, like, making the fist, like, no, I'm not going to do this. And in the end, he basically grabs her and hits that huge, like, Uranagi type, or grabs her to hit, like, that Uranagi rock bottom type finisher that he uses. But then, like, he gets her up, then he, like, thinks about it, and, like, just takes her, puts her on the mat, puts all his weight on her shoulders, and basically gets the 3 count. Of course, which is when the crew shows up. They attack Big Ryck. Sexy Star, basically, since she's not basically destroyed by the match, is able to help fight them off. She basically takes them, like, one at a time and starts, like, attacking them. In the end, there's too many of them, and they basically lay her out, but that gives Ryck enough time to recover. And then he basically lays everybody out, and he's seen standing tall at the end, which is interesting. They also start talking about trying to put his other eye out with the kendo stick, and there's a whole Ezekiel eye for an eye thing going on here too. So it's pretty cool. It's really interesting to see where Ryck and the crew go at this point. After this, we get our main event. We get Alberto El Patron versus Tejano. This is a great match, and it's good to see them have this match. It's not the style that they normally have. It's not the high-flying, classic Lucha Libre offense. It was a lot of the more grounded, sort of technical wrestling that you expect from these guys. Of course, you do have Tejano get knocked outside. Alberto does hit this cool, like, dive through the second and top rope. Great back-and-forth match. Tejano actually dominated a lot of it, now that I think about it, which is really cool to see, because he's probably who the American audience knows the least about. So to see him come in and be dominant for most of this match over Alberto was really great to see, and it basically establishes his caliber in a single match. One of my favorite things they did is, right in front of the ref, he's got Alberto hung up in the turnbuckles, and he walks over to the far side, and he pulls the other turnbuckle off, and basically turns around, the referee's right there, and he's like, oh, well, I guess here, have the turnbuckle. And then the referee goes to basically put the turnbuckle back on, and while he's distracted, he grabs the rope and basically starts pounding on Alberto with the rope, which was cool to see. After that, the match continues going back and forth. Tejano basically goes to cheat again with the rope, but he misses. Alberto ducks it, and I forget what move he hit, but basically knocks the rope out of his hands. Alberto sees the rope on the ground. Rage basically takes over, and basically he grabs the rope and starts wailing on Tejano with it. Blatant DQ, but nobody cares because this is Alberto getting his one-up. And it also helps protect Tejano's appearance at this point. So Tejano comes out looking strong, he gets the win, but the crowd's happy that Alberto gets basically what he wants out of the whole thing, which is he gets to beat the bloody hell out of Tejano. After that, we see King Cuerno basically reclining back in Dario Quintos' office again. This one with a cowboy hat. Strange look for him. And basically it's Dario letting him know that, hey, Mundo's coming for you, he wants your head. I think the best way to solve this is we can put you guys in a cage match next week. And Cuerno's like, no problem, he can come for my head. I'm going to mount his head on my wall. which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Hell, they put on an amazing match last week, DQ'd and then brawled through the crowd. Next week, a cage match. We haven't actually seen a cage match yet on Lucha Underground, so that'll be really interesting to see. Number one, what kind of cage they use, how they use it. I'm looking forward to it. The one thing I was looking for this week that wasn't there is, where's Pentagon Jr.? I'm so hooked in the story of line is who is his master, and I just love his stuff. So we didn't get to see him this week, which is a bit of a bummer. But that's my review of this week's Lucha Underground. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please, please, please share this on social media if you like this. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter. Like this. Comment any questions you have. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get these out regularly. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.